Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Procedure Flow webinar. My name is Amy Weber, and I am the Best Practices Manager for the Procedure Flow team. I want to thank everyone for giving time out of your busy day to be with us. We are recording this session, so we're going to keep everyone muted for the duration, but as soon as we're finished, we'll open the floor for a Q&A session. If you do have a question during the webinar, please feel free to type it into the question box on your screen, and we'll make sure to address it during the Q&A portion. Today, we're going to be discussing how to set up your Procedure Flow homepage. So today our agenda looks like this. First, we're just going to talk briefly about what you need to consider when you're setting up your homepage. Of course, the homepage does vary from customer to customer, but there is a general flow that we tend to see, especially for our call center customers. And then after we're done discussing those considerations, we're going to go into our fictional Dome 10 Co environment, and we're actually going to set up a homepage example. And so you can kind of put into practice exactly what we mean. So the homepage is a critical part of your Procedure Flow environment, and it's really no surprise that we spend a lot of time working with our customers to figure out exactly what theirs is going to look like. You can customize your own page and make it your own, but there are some general things that we always want to keep in mind. First, we want to keep it simple and clean. Your homepage should never contain an overwhelming amount of information, and it shouldn't look like a portal or a wiki page that contains tons of information or text that your employees have to go through. The reason being is your employees are going to be navigating off the homepage when they're on the phone with customers, and we need to keep it clean and easy to read so that they can find out where they need to go quickly. The next point we'd like to make is just to put the start of the process or the jumping off point right on the homepage itself. If this jumping off point is hidden, it makes the whole point of Procedure Flow confusing for the user. And as you'll see, most of our customers have the typical flow right on their front page, which is your standard greeting, your customer verification process, and then the first breakout of their big buckets on the homepage. And we find that this works really, really well. You will want to add the company or the department logo. This makes users feel at home and welcome. Some customers have even included their mission statements or their customer service goals. And this is optional, but some customers like to add in a short backstory about the company to the home page or add a link out to the company's website. The other couple of things that we have seen customers add to their homepage that have also worked really well is a quick links table, a place for daily updates and daily announcements, and contact information for the company's super users and other help resources so users can quickly find help whenever they get stuck. So that are some of the considerations that we always go through and discuss with our customers when we're talking about how to set up their homepage. So now I am just going to move over to Procedure Flow, and we're going to jump in and we're going to build a sample home page for our tent manufacturing company, Dome 10 Co. So you can see exactly what I mean. So now we're looking at Procedure Flow. And again, the first thing that I need to do is to toggle over from the live over from your draft. Once I take my draft, again, I've taken my own personal photocopy of everything that exists under this customer service entry point. And I can make any edits that I want to my draft, and they won't change the live version that the rest of the team is using at all. So once I've taken my draft, what I'm going to do is click the edit button in the top left-hand corner of the screen. This is going to take me into the editing canvas where I see the grid and my 7 shapes. Now, you can see that I've already started to build out this home page. So the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to add our company logo onto the home page. And again, we add the company or the department logo to make the agents feel welcome and feel at home. So we're going to use our add image function, and we're going to add that. And then the next thing that we're going to add is just a backstory of the Dome 10 Co company. And again, what we want to do is try to put yourself into the shoes of that brand new employee and the information that may help them get acquainted with the company and also get familiar with the company's processes and how their day-to-day job is going to flow. So once we have our backstory added in, the next thing that we see a lot of customers doing is just adding in a link out to their company website. So we're going to use the hyperlinking function, the chain icon. We're going to select our text, hit that icon, and we're going to put in the link to dometenco.com. So for new employees coming in, they now have a little overview of Dome Tenco and where we came from as a company. And they also have the link right out to the Dome Tenco website. So if they need more additional information or they're helping a customer and need to quickly go to the website, we have that link right there for them on the home page. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go over and we're going to continue building on this flow. So again, we've started the process and the jumping off point right on the front page. So a new employee can quickly come to the home page and see at a high level exactly what the process is going to be. So we have our standard greeting. We're going to note the customer's reason for calling. And then we're going to do a quick breakout here. And we're just going to try to determine if this customer is a new customer or if they're an existing customer. If they're a new customer, they get transferred out to sales. And it's important for the agents to figure this out right at the top of the call because we don't want agents wasting time talking to new customers when they just need to be put through to sales. So for those customers that are existing, the next step that we have to do is a customer verification process. Then once we successfully complete that customer verification process, then we're going to do our first big bucket breakout at the bottom. Now, customer verification processes can be quite in-depth depending on the customer. We normally always make them a subflow, and then we build out the required steps on how to complete that verification or authentication process underneath that new subflow. And the reason we do that is, again, if I'm a senior agent and I've been in this role for some time, likely I know how to complete that verification and authentication process. So I don't need to go into that subflow and I don't need to see all of the detail. So we hide the detail, but for those new employees who may not be quite sure how to do that, they can click into that subflow and all the detail that they need is right there for them. And it will walk them through the verification or authentication process step by step. And now we're going to start to build our big buckets down on the bottom of this. And this is where our front page is going to begin to build out the real meat of it. And how we do this is we build something called a multiple options series. What this is we're just going to stack these blue boxes, and each blue box is going to be a very high level category. And we don't worry very much about putting in arrows. We just stack them in a nice grid on the bottom. And depending on the customer, what that grid looks like could be different. Some customers will build that grid and put headings at the top of various rows. Or some customers are happy to do it without headings, but to just order the big buckets alphabetically. As we build this grid, we are keeping the home page very clean and simple and easy for the user to read very quickly. So now we'll go up and we're going to put our arrows in. We're not going to worry about putting any arrows at all in the grid down on the bottom. The reason being is because if you try to put arrows in like that, it starts to look like a spider web and it gets very messy very quickly. We're just going to stack these in a grid and we're just going to hyperlink to those big high-level categories. So for this particular one, for Dome Tenco, we have broken part, we have modify account, we're going to put a quality complaint subflow in there. We're going to put an order inquiry subflow, help assembling. And finally, the customer wants to place a new order. So those are our 6 big buckets that we are going to have on the front of our Dome Tenko environment. This varies from customer to customer. So some customers may have as little as 6 or even fewer big buckets. And then we do have other customers that have many more big buckets on their front page. But we've really stressed the importance of trying to bucket various call types as easily as possible and to not put too much information or text on the home page. Again, we want it to be simple and clean and easy to read. We do not want this front page to start to look like a wiki page or a portal that has dozens and dozens of links on it. That quickly gets confusing for the agent, and it makes it very difficult for them to find the right information that they need quickly to help the customer. So now what I'd like to do is just add in a quick links box that I mentioned at the first of the webinar. So again, we have lots of customers that use this, and this is an idea that we did not come up with. One of our customers actually came up with this. The great thing about this is if you have a training documentation portal that you'd like to link to, if you have another subflow that you would like to link to, such as in this case, we're going to make a help resources and a super user subflow. So that new subflow is going to contain a list of all the help resources available to the users, as well as the direct contact information for the procedure flow super users for Dome Tenko. Once we have our subflow created, we're just going to come back to our quick links box, and we are going to hyperlink that text to our new subflow. So again, we can put those quick links right on the front page so the agents can find them quickly, even if they happen to be 8 or 9 layers deep. If they get to that point and they're not sure where to go, it's very easy for them to click the entry point name or to click View Flows at the top of their screen, quickly jump back to the home page, and the link to their help resources is right there for them. So the other idea that we've gotten from customers that's worked really, really well is this daily updates box. So particularly within our call center clients, they have made it part of the supervisor's daily cadence to come in and update the daily update box on the front homepage of their various procedure flow environments. So this allows the supervisors to quickly communicate out to the team anything that's going on that day that the agents need to be aware of. So maybe there is a large power outage that the agents need to be aware of. Maybe there is a change in rates that may be causing some increased call volume that the agents need to be aware of. So instead of putting all of those things out via email, and the agents having to monitor 2 different sources of information, their email as well as procedure flow, those clients have created this daily announcements box, and they put all of that information in procedure flow. Again, so it's all in one place. It's part of the supervisor's daily cadence to add it in, and it becomes part of the agent's daily cadence to review that announcements box and make sure that there's nothing happening that they need to be aware of for the day. So that is our completed Dome Tenko homepage. And as you can see, it does follow the general flow that we've gotten accustomed to while working with our call center clients. It has our general greeting. It advises that I'm going to have a conversation with the customer and I need to note the customer's reason for calling. If it's a new customer, then I'm going to transfer that new customer directly out to sales. Then we go into the complete customer verification flow or customer authentication process. And then we get down into, well, what is the customer actually calling about? And we have our first initial breakout of our big buckets on the end. So that is the general flow that we typically see for call centers. And then on the right-hand side, you see that we've added in our Dome Tenko logo and just a brief description on the backstory and the history of Dome Tenko, including a link out to the Dome Tenko website. So again, that's just to make agents feel welcome and at home in procedure flow. And then we've added in our quick links box and also our daily announcements box where the agents will come in, and that's going to be the first thing that they need to come in and look at to see if there's anything that they need to keep top of mind today. So this is what we would expect a homepage to look like. As you can see, it's very clean, it's very simple, it's very easy for me to start out from as a new agent. It walks me through step by step, and then depending on what the customer wants, I can go down into the appropriate subflows, into my broken part subflow, help the customer with their broken part inquiry. So now that we've got our completed homepage, I'm going to put this up into the approvals queue. And again, I'm just going to click Review Your Changes. That's going to take me into the side-by-side comparison, showing what the current live version is, and then my suggested changes. So I'm just going to give this a title, and then hit Submit. And then if I'm a contributor, that's as far as I get to go. I'm just going to go back and go to work. Now myself, as the approver and admin for the Dome 10 Co environment, I can see that my Approvals tab at the top now says 1. And that's just my notification that there's something in the Approvals queue that's waiting for my review. So I'm going to click on Approvals, and I'm going to click the one that is on top of the queue. That's the new one. And again, me as the approver am going to see that same side-by-side version. From here, we can have a discussion. I can request changes or decline it, which will send it back to the user, but I'm just going to go ahead and approve it. And when I hit approve, that publishes our work out to the live version. So now you can see if I go back to the live version, you can see that all our work that we just did is now live. And my change history is now showing that there's one new. And all of the team is going to get this notification that there's been an update to the process. And again, they can come in and see the completed side-by-side version and quickly see what has changed. And that's a great looking homepage. So I'm going to stop there and see, is there any questions? Every homepage is different for every customer. And we really encourage our customers to make their homepage their own. And how much or how little information that you have on your homepage, again, is going to vary from customer to customer. But we hope that we've given you some thoughts to think about today. Again, we learn something new from working with every single customer. And some of the best ideas that we have and that we get to pass on are from our customers. So if you can think of a new idea or something else that you've added to your homepage that you think other customers will benefit from, please let us know. So finally, this is just a reminder that this webinar is part of our training series, and the webinar recordings are available online at procedureflow.com/webinars. And if you'd like to test your procedure flow knowledge, we also have quizzes to go along with the webinars that are available on help.procedureflow.com. So that's it for today. Thank you to everyone for attending. Happy flowing, and enjoy the rest of your day.